Welcome, podcast fans. It's time for the What's Up Bro podcast show presented by J&J Production Studios, the home for all your entertainment needs. All kinds of great topics discussed every week, a variety of different themes offered, special guest appearances, prize giveaways, and so much more. Stay tuned. And now, here are your hosts, Sam Crow and Big Hoss.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody and everyone of all ages. It's time for another new episode of the show. It's the weekend. It's Friday night. It's Sam Crow here with Big Hoss. How are you doing, Big Hoss?
I'm doing pretty good.
How's the weekend treating you? I know it just got started, but
Pretty good.
that's good. We're here to chat with you guys tonight. We're actually going to get up our... There we go, campfire. We're sitting back there, and we're going to talk about... we talked about talking about this, so we're going to give you guys more in-depth look at this. So we're looking at planning a very special camping trip, which right now it's just Big Hoss and myself, unless others want to join in.
My friend wanted to join us.
Okay, well, there you go. The more the merrier.
She has a van.
He's what?
She has a van, so we should get on.
Oh, okay. All right, well, there you go. Yeah, the more the merrier, so that works.
If she goes, then we...
Right, so it's not a definite, but it's a possibility. Okay.
She said she wanted to go. I told her we were going camping, and she said, "Oh, I'm interested."
Okay. Yeah, no, hey, listen, the more the merrier, so... Well, we're gonna talk about all kinds of fun stuff there, and it's perfect because summertime really is that time I think a lot of people go camping. I'm not one of those that does it often, but I know a lot of people do. Now, camping can mean different things. That can mean at the beach. Some people do that, which sounds strange, but it does happen. You know, camping is your traditional tent in the woods, hanging out there, all that great stuff. So there is that possibility, there is that option that's there. And then, of course, there is the glamping option, which, if you're not sure what that is, and a lot of people probably don't know what that is, although, just to give you an example, glamping basically means camping-wise, but you're not using a tent. You're basically almost like a motorhome, and it could be in a trailer park, or not trailer park, a campground, but it can also be, I guess in some cases you can find a spot to park in the woods. So there's all different kinds of camping there, but we're talking about traditional camping. That's like tents out in the woods, and no luxuries of the normal kind whatsoever. So now I've also heard, this is funny too, but some people consider camping, quote unquote, by staying in a hotel, which don't know how that equates, but apparently in some aspects it still kind of counts. So it's interesting though that when you think about camping, and normally most people again think about just tents outside, which typically is what it is. Now, growing up, I remember one of our favorite things, I don't know if you did this growing up, but we used to camp in the living room. So when my sister and I were younger, we had a tent which was for kids, not a super big one, but we had we set it up in the living room and we would sleep downstairs. So I remember a couple times we would have like I don't know if we necessarily did the s'more track, but we had snacks. Obviously, I think popcorn was a big one that we had. And so, we would watch. Obviously, the only luxury too was we had the television, so we'd watch movies downstairs, but we'd be in the tent. And then at nighttime, we would sleep in the tent downstairs, which is a lot of fun. And it's kind of nice in some regards because it kind of gives you that camping experience, but yet you're in your own home kind of thing. Which I know a lot of people are probably listening, going, "That's not camping," and to some extent, you're right. But for younger kids, I mean, in some aspect, too, it's probably the closest and best thing to do, as opposed to parents trying to take young children out into the woods. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think a lot of it is, it's just it's just whatever's most convenient, easiest, and all that sort of thing. So make it your own. Apologies here if you can't hear me too well. I'm multitasking. We got a message from our good friend Boo Boo, who's not going to join us tonight, but which is fine. I know Mr. Fire is not available maybe tomorrow night. Everybody's got different schedules, but one good thing you can always rely on is Hoss and I are always here, so don't worry about that. We got you guys covered. So yeah, that's kind of the camping we're talking about. Now, as I said, we're talking about tent camping, and we're looking at spots to where we can go to camp. Plan maybe is to stay at least up to a week, at least a few days if nothing else. But and then naturally, of course, figuring out provisions and equipment that we have, what we do have that we will need, etc.
Do you have a cooler?
I think I have a cooler we can use. So there's that.
Okay.
I mean, if not, we can.
I have a small one that we could use for like drinks or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have one of those. I don't know what you call it. It's not a travel one. It's like I guess it's sort of like well, I mean, the coolers are for traveling, but it's not a big honking one. I think it's smaller, but it'll still work. But yes.
Do you want to fly down, or are you gonna drive down?
Easiest thing for me probably is gonna be to drive, because fly. Because it's a bit of a. If I drive, actually, I'm just curious. Let me see. Since we're doing this, this is our. I should really call this our.
I was wondering if you drove down, but we don't have to be here.
I don't know if I can. What am I looking for? Oh, that's right. Well, number one, my car is not super spacious, so that's not going to help us either. But I don't think. How far is it to drive? And apparently, Google people searched this. I know somebody had to at some time from Pennsylvania. Oh, for Pete's sake. It's giving me errors because I'm not capitalizing it. Yeah, so literally, if I take the one term, it's gonna take like 24 hours to drive. So figure that's basically. Yeah, let me see how long. Now we're playing this as a fun game for you guys at home. So, how long of a flight? I don't think it's going to be super long, but just because we're playing this and this is kind of fun. How long a flight from Pennsylvania? No, it's probably like a couple hours. Here we go, from Pennsylvania to Colorado. Depends on where I take out from. Which, actually, let's see. This is an interesting question. Oh, okay, so I can take off. I would probably take. Well, the closest city here for me is Allentown. That's about a 40-minute drive. So it's a 4-hour trip from flying out from there to Colorado. To. Actually, let's see. We're looking for. You're at Lakewood, right?
Yeah. But you would fly to Denver International.
To Denver?
You fly to Denver.
Right. And then go over to catch a. Does that make a difference? Not really. Let's see. No, it's still 4 hours. Okay, so basically, yeah. In short, it's 4 hours from point A to point B. So interesting. Okay. Well, good to know. I mean, it's like I said, it's one of those things when you plan all this that you gotta go over the fine-tooth comb, which is what we're doing because you guys know, anybody knows, whether you're going camping or going on vacation or a trip of any kind, could be business, could be for personal or for pleasure, whatever it is. There's an amazing amount of planning that goes into it. And it's almost like, and I know this because we had the wedding recently, it's almost as tricky as planning that because there's a lot of a lot of the little details is what gets you. And, you know, the bigger things, like, obviously, for example, for me to fly out, getting a ticket there is not a big deal. That's, you know. But then there's the whole, you know, getting there and then transporting to site on camping. And then, of course, as we said earlier, equipment and everything. It's those, and then food and all that stuff. It's those little minute details that I think is what causes the planning process to go super long.
Well, what I was thinking is when you get here, we'll go supply shopping.
Yeah. Yeah, because then everything will be fresh.
Now we're like so we have to go supply shopping together.
Yeah, because and that's actually going to be less for me to have to bring and get through, you know, luggage wise on the plane anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's those little details that it's really important, and it doesn't seem like it. You know, if you've never planned a trip before, which I'm sure that's very few people, because almost everybody goes somewhere or has gone somewhere.
Will this be your first time in Colorado?
Yeah, and actually, if I do that, it'll be the furthest west I've ever been. I've never been that far west before. So, the farthest west in the U.S. I've been is Ohio. So, that's...
So, I was looking into it, and it might be cheaper if we got a park pass.
Okay. That can work. Yeah, it might, and you know that's an option, and some places do offer that, which I think I don't want to say it's like an all inclusive, but it's kind of like it's you pay for that and it's all wrapped.
My friend has a park pass. That's why I was thinking about bringing her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could work. I mean, that is, again, the other part of that planning is finding the, for lack of a better term, although it is true, the most affordable way to do it, but also how to maximize every bang for your buck in short term. Because, and again, if you're a regular traveler or do this, let's take it from the airfare perspective, just as an example. Now, there's so many different companies for airfare, getting plane tickets, you know, different flights, different travel companies, and you know, everybody always looks for that deal where, you know, is it one-way ticket? Is it round trip? What's the best deal? I remember this because we were looking at an opportunity to go like to Europe, and it's like, how much are tickets to go? Because obviously we need round trip going there and coming back. It's cheaper than buying a one-way ticket, which naturally makes sense. But you know, it's all those little things that when you break it down, it's like, yeah, there's so much. And then the other flip side is, now we're not leaving the country, obviously, but the other extended part is when you leave the country, you need a passport. Now, for me, I don't have one. I have to go through customs. I have to go through and get a passport, which I would if I was to leave the country. But it's that extra added mileage of... What's that? Okay. So, yeah, I mean, but just the idea of there's so many, like, little details that you have to do. And you know, a lot of you guys are probably frequent flyers, frequent campers even. Maybe you work for business and you travel a lot. I know some people that have done that. You know, it almost feels like you're living out of your suitcase because you're traveling so much, but for work. So, you know, it's just all those little planning details that you really have to incorporate. And I always say this, it's just best thing to do is take it a step at a time and, you know, go through everything, double check, triple check. You know, like, we're going to do that. We're going to have a list of stuff that we're going to need and think about, and probably start writing it down, which is something to make a list of, like, what exactly specifics. But, you know, it's better to be prepared that way than a lot of people that I've heard, and I don't know too many that have done this, and I would not recommend that you do this if you're planning a trip for vacation this year. If any of you have not gone on your summer vacation yet, and some people, it's about that time. We're in the mid-June now, or actually coming towards the getting the latter part of June. A lot of people do travel and do start taking vacations. You know, don't just. I usually like to phrase it. Don't just wing it. Meaning, don't not prepare a pre-plan when you go somewhere and then just say, well, we'll figure it out when we get there. For example, if you're taking a trip, so let's say cross-country, for instance, and we just mentioned this, I said, I'm probably not going to drive to Colorado because it's a little bit too far. And actually, I will say this, another reason I'm going to get to this, why it's important too, is it would be pretty expensive to drive because of the gas mileage. Yeah, so in retrospect, really flying in itself, it would be the best way to go. But anyway, what I was going to make the point here was, I know people a lot of times. Right.
The airport.
That yeah. Well, what I would do is once I would get to the airport, I'd see about
Uber.
that, or I'd look into finding a rental place, something, which I probably will pre-do that before I even leave here.
Yeah, we might need a rental car.
That's yeah. So probably what most likely I would do is I would once upon landing in Denver is looking at and having a plan of finding a rental car place, and then just going from there to to you, that kind of thing. So that would probably be the easiest thing. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, yeah, we're definitely gonna need. Depends on how long you rent it for. I have to find a good place there, and like we had a rental car for after the wedding because we just not that we really needed it, we just kind of thought it was fun, and we had the car for about a week, and the rental car I think it was like $350 and with an upgrade. Which I mean, it's honestly that's not terrible with the car, just because car takes for the whole week.
But on top of camping expenses.
Right. Well, what we have to do is, and part of the oh, hang on. Let's mute this. There we go. Sorry about that. Our campfire does come with commercials. What we'd have to do is, let me just wait till this commercial ends. I can't skip it. I hate when YouTube does that sometimes. There we go. Get a list and itinerary of everything that we do need. Because obviously the supply factor, we know we need supplies and stuff. That's a given, basically.
Well, that's like food and stuff like that.
Right, and that comes off the top. That's something that is necessary. So, like, for instance, the rental and stuff would be like a miscellaneous section. So we have categories of most important, and kind of go down that line, and then the miscellaneous are the extra expenses like the car rental, park pass, or whatever you need like for the site there, that kind of stuff, and then calculating everything and seeing like what the overall price range is, what would cost for general. And part of that would be good too is having an idea of what we would need is looking for places, because you can find deals for things like for food and stuff. We can buy in bulk, which is cheaper. And a lot of this stuff. Yeah, so there you go. That's one area you can save. And it's not like we need like. You want to find stuff that's storable, that's good. We don't want to get like crazy with food, like food is good to have, but it's right, drinks and stuff. That's be cooler for that, which is not that you can get, like, you get cans are easy enough to store. Like, we're not going to get like big liter bottles. We get like cans and stuff.
Right.
And it's kind of a double flip coin of it's small enough, and they can be packed quickly enough, and yet still serve the purpose of giving us the drink.
About that big.
Yeah. So, which compared to a 2-liter bottle, which is like this, I mean, that's yeah. And also saving on cups. We don't need cups or anything. You drink it right out of a can. So,
That's what I was thinking. Can.
Yeah, and probably get like some bottled water just to have water there.
Well, I got I do have, what are they called? A percolator for coffee.
Oh, okay. Well, that works too. Yeah, percolator that can be good.
Because I know we're probably gonna want some coffee in the morning.
Yeah, actually, that's one thing.
I don't think you drink coffee, do you?
I do.
Okay.
I don't. We have a coffee maker actually. We just got it. I don't. I'm not a heavy coffee drinker, but I do enjoy a cup. And if we're on a camping trip, I will drink it, being outdoors. So yeah.
Yeah, because I got a percolator.
Okay. So that'll save some.
I don't know how to use it.
Well, that's not. Yeah, that's hard. We can work that out. But that's those little things like.
Because I tried to make coffee in the percolator at home, and it makes it better.
You just had hot water.
Just hot water and coffee, and it makes it better.
It's that. Well, here's the beautiful part. Being outdoors, we can make all the messes we want because we're outdoors. So, but that can work. But that's basically the preface of that is having that plan there. But what I was saying before too was a lot of people take off, like say on a road trip, and I don't think it's that they purposefully do this, but they don't, or they don't calculate or they miscalculate how much it costs in gas. Like, think about it this way. Let's just say for shits and giggles, we were going to go on a road trip in an RV, okay? Now, RV is a larger vehicle, so you know it's going to be a gas guzzler. And you've seen, like, I'm not sure what gas prices range. What do gas prices range around where you are? Do you know? Hypothetically?
I think they're expensive.
Because right now where I'm at, average gas cost is $3.25 a gallon, which is kind of, it's moderate. It's not great. It's not bad. Yeah, check that, because I'm trying to show the illustration of this, because any kind of cars, like if you have a gas guzzler, and you got to know an RV, because an RV is a home on wheels. And so I heard this because I forget what I was watching, something where, and a show people talk about driving from like the East Coast from New York to like California in an RV. Like, you know how much money you're going to spend just on gas. Probably would be cheaper to just to fly out there and stay out there somewhere. But you know, people a lot of times they just
average is 302, 297.
Oh, okay. So you're actually, so in retrospect, it's cheaper out there. It's cheaper out there than where it is where I'm at right now.
That just gives me an average.
Yeah. Well, that sounds about right. I just don't know because so what is it? 3.54.
Yeah.
So that's So that's $3.54 a gallon.
Yeah.
So that sounds about right. I'm sure prices are more. Again, I'm not from the out west, so I don't know. I just know what it usually is here in the east. So, but bottom line is, if you have a vehicle that's a gas guzzler, and if you're on a budget, which a lot of people usually are for a vacation, it can add up quickly, just gas prices alone. So, that's something to also consider. And again, I'm not knocking cross-country trips for driving. I mean, if you can find a suitable car or have a suitable car that's good on mileage and gas, and depending on, maybe you're staying at a hotel, or if you're not driving far, you can easily get across country a lot easier on your gas budget than you can, say, in a motorhome. So that's one thing. And that's the other fringe benefit of flying out there and then getting a rental there, because the other thing is obviously paying for the rental car, but then there's gas involved. However, if we are not far from location from where we're going to be staying for a week, it's not a bad deal for that. Then again, case in point.
So,
Go ahead. Brain fart.
Sheffield is literally like maybe a 40-minute drive from here.
That's not bad.
Or 30, 25 maybe.
Yeah. That's not, and again, that's the nice part about, and we did that when we went on the honeymoon because we had the rental car, and from where we stayed in the Pocono area, it was only about a half an hour, so it's basically the same drive. And then we really didn't go anywhere with the car up there, which basically was we're not going to do that when we go up there anyway, going camping. So, that pretty much pays for itself in regards to we're not going to be like chugging gas down. We're not going to be burning through a tank of gas like the first 5 minutes.
You want to go sightseeing.
And that's, we can do that. I'm just saying there's ways to we don't have to go super, super far. And that's not bad. Even to fill up 2 tanks of gas, it's not, figure what, maybe if let's just say we burn through 2 tanks of gas, that's like $40 if we budget right. So it's not terrible. But it's those little details that.
You got a generator?
I got a what?
A generator?
Not one I have one. It's actually grounded in the house, but I don't have a mobile one. And that's, that.
Well, I was thinking like if you had a generator, we could power like the laptop.
Oh, right. There might be. No, I'm not sure about the grounds there. There might be like a charging area. I don't know because I've not been. We're living in different times now, so I know camping is camping, and it's strictly the basics. But I know sometimes in some places there are charging stations, and even if there's not, like say on the site there, we could probably drive somewhere that's not far away and charge things too. There's got to be something nearby. So that's always an option. But all that detail and stuff and that planning, that's very important, which that's why I have to say this. I can understand when people say they work so hard to plan for a vacation, and then they go on vacation, and the vacation's over, then you need a vacation from the vacation because all that planning and packing, unpacking, and that's one thing I never do. Whenever I'm on vacation, I always live out of a suitcase. I never get super comfortable and unpack because unless I'm staying somewhere for a month, which I've never done, there's no reason to unpack everything. You wear what you need every day, and your extra clothes are in basically your suitcase is your dresser on wheels, because you just take everything out of there. And then the time for you to go home or leave, you zip it right back up. I always take bags with me for laundry, and it just makes it that much simpler, which I probably would do something similar even camping wise. But now if you want to get this could be a picture. We should really get rustic where we go down to the river and we wash our clothes in the river. I don't know if I want to go that roughneck. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm okay using the laundromat because I don't want to get that frontiersman. I'm not that much of a frontiersman to do that. So, but
When were we thinking it on?
I honestly am not sure, just because I know we're going to be tied up end of July and the beginning of August because he's got surgery. It probably would, if the best chance would probably be like end of the month type of August, maybe towards the September-ish kind of thing. I'm just thinking, and again, I'm not thinking 100%. I'm guesstimating based upon the timeline of everything that's going to be happening in the next month. So, plus, it also depends with scheduling and getting off and finding everything. But the goal, though, is to start prepping everything. So at the very least, we have a plan down, and kind of inner workings for that. So that's really the key factor. If we can do that, everything else should be able to fall into place there. But yeah, ideally, I'd say probably the end of August, which will still be nice. A lot of people still go camping. Some people, I don't want to push it to the fall type because nights get colder, and God probably knows up in Colorado it's gonna be freezing overnight. So, definitely like summer milder weather because just for obvious reasons. I shouldn't have to explain it. If I do, then you're listening to the wrong show. So, but yeah, that's kind of hopefully the ideal goal. We'll have to kind of play that by ear, but yeah, it's. Again, we're just kind of amateur campers. A lot of you guys might be experts there, and so there's a lot of stuff that we're saying probably. Which actually, I should put a note out there. I don't think to put messages out there. We do check the chats, just so you guys know.
I just checked the chats. There's
nothing in there. Yeah, it's hard to say sometimes, but we do check it. So if you want to chat with us during the show, you're welcome to. We will keep an eye on that. And thank you so much for the people that have chatted with us so far. It's great. We love to see that kind of connection. But there's all kinds of different levels and things as Hoss chokes to death. There's coughing your lungs up. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. There's all kinds of different areas and things we can do. But it's just having the plan there, which we can. And when you start putting the blueprints together for a plan of something, it kind of just helps to really give you that full picture of what's going to happen. And again, I only know I say that because of the wedding and stuff. That's how I know for sure that it does work that way. But it's always good. And when you plan a trip there, and whether if it's just you and a friend, or if it's family, there's all different kinds of ways you can go on trips. It's great to always plan something, and there's always a lot of components to it, a lot of moving parts, because not everybody functions and moves the way you do. Like for me, I'm an organized person. I pack everything. I'm ready to go ahead of time. Miss Eliza, not so much sometimes. My family's been like that. So you're dealing with all these different personas of the early risers, the ready to goers. Then there's the oversleepers. There's the totally unprepared-ers, which is bad grammar, but you get the picture. And so, I remember And speaking of family vacation, these are fun stories. One of the rules that family always had was, and I'll use this as an example because I remember several years ago, actually to be specific, nearly 20 years ago now, believe it or not, which really dates me, but I had a cousin who was getting married up in Vermont. Now, we were driving up to Vermont from where we lived in Jersey at that time. And the car ride itself, at least from what my parents had researched, it was an 8-hour car ride. All right. Now, I know for a lot of you guys traveling, that doesn't sound like a big deal. But remember, at that time, my sister and I were younger, and my grandmother was with us too. So there's a lot of planning. There's 5 of us piled in a van, traveling up to the Green Mountain State up there. So the funny part of the story is the rule of thumb the family had was, first of all, my father always said, pack your bags. We're loading the van the night before, and I'm pulling the van into a position that we can pull right out the next day so we can hit the road, try to avoid traffic. The other big rule was, before you leave the house, everybody must use the facilities, must use the bathroom before you leave the house. Because the idea is to try to get as much headway as possible. Now, on this particular trip, this by far, at least on a family trip, I think is the furthest my family ever went. Usually we would go places that were like 2 hours away, which is nothing, but this was an 8-hour car ride, like from start to finish, which we did. I recall we took a couple breaks, and I think we stopped for lunch. But the idea was to try to make as much headway as possible with very little bathroom breaks. So, as I recall, I feel like somebody didn't go to the bathroom, and we barely got on the road. It was like 10 minutes in. No, I don't think it was me. It might have been my sister, or maybe my grandma. I'm not sure. It wasn't me because I went to the bathroom. I forgot. As far as I remember, I didn't have to go, but I tried anyway. And so we got on the road, and my parents still always ask that question: "Are we sure now? Everybody's sitting in the seats. You're buckled in. Are you sure nobody has to go to the bathroom? Because we're pulling out. Everybody's good." And I feel like it was like 10 minutes into the road trip of an 8-hour car ride, and I think it was my sister who said, "I have to go to the bathroom." And it was like, we're not even 10 minutes on the road, and somebody's got to say, "This is why you should have gone." So it's moments like that are just, it's hysterical. And then my other fond memories of family road trips were, didn't have GPSs at that time. Now, even if we did, my parents are not technologically savvy, so they wouldn't use them much anyway. So we're relying on, my mom would print off directions like off of Google, and we'd have the old classic foldable maps. I don't remember if it was the trip to Vermont or somewhere else we were going. I think at one point we ended up not terribly lost, but we were off track. And my parents are panicking, and then there's a fighting in the car because we're like, oh my gosh, we're lost. And so a lot of you guys probably can relate to that. Those are fond memories I'm sure we all have. But the bottom line is there's a lot of planning to it. There's a lot of things that have to happen. So make sure you're prepared as much as possible before you make your departures, before you go anywhere. Have a plan, back up, and be ready to go. We're going to take a short pause here for you guys. I know we've been going on here. It's just fun to sit by the virtual campfire here and chat a bit. We'll talk more camping when we come back because we're going to share maybe some fun things we're hoping to do on our camping trip. Maybe give you guys some ideas. If your camping is on your agenda for travel this year, might be for a lot of people. Who knows? So hopefully we can give you guys some inspiration for that. And we're going to talk more kinds of great stuff there. During our Summer Slam Fest, which is still going on, we are coming towards the end of June. Hard to believe. 4th of July is going to be coming up, which we're going to be planning something special there for our shows coming up. We'll do something. Actually, let me see. When is 4th of July this year? Now that you got me thinking about it. Thanks, Hoss. He knows exactly what I need to hear right before I even think about it. Okay, well, so 4th of July actually is on Tuesday, but we could probably do something for the weekend there. We'll definitely figure something out there. Maybe we'll plan something. We always have something cooking there, so make sure you guys check that out. We didn't do any announcements. I kind of jumped in here ahead and got into it, but just want to let you guys know, in case you missed it, we did an episode of Colorado Music and Live Streaming with Big Hoss. It was aired on Tuesday. We're going to set up another one. We're trying to get some other shows going throughout the week to give you guys plenty of entertainment, so make sure you check that out if you haven't. We're going to make some more plans for that and a few other shows we got coming back there. I'm going to plan something for the sports show coming up. We might do a special coming up maybe this week. If you want to join me on there, you can. I'm not sure when we're going to do that yet, but I'll let you know. We try to get those in between for you guys, and then I know you look forward to the show like tonight and tomorrow night, but we try to also have fillers in there as well. And, of course, our holiday episodes, which I'm really excited about. They were a huge hit last year. You guys really our numbers were fantastic, so We got all the big major holidays coming up, and I'm looking forward to Christmas this year. Why am I looking forward to Christmas this year, Big Hoss? Do you remember? So, we always love to play Christmas music, and I expected this when we did Christmas there. Are we keeping you awake? You look tired there. Hold on. Oh, man, look at that. Wow, I've never seen your mouth get so big there. So, for our Christmas shows, and actually really throughout the whole month of December, because we ran it not just on Christmas, but we played Christmas music, which I fully expected there to be copyright issues because it is Christmas music. And even the songs that we use through Soundstripe. Again, if you haven't checked Soundstripe out, please do that. Great, fun, wonderful pricing. Their plans available for any project you need for copyright-free music. So because now we officially have our membership there, we don't have to do any major editing, and the songs can be played, and there'll be no issues whatsoever. And we can use songs with words. That's really why I am so much looking forward to the Christmas season coming up, which is 6 months away. Although I'm kind of tempted. I was in the mood today to do Christmas in July, so we'll have to see what happens. But you never heard that, Christmas in July?
It's not July.
Not yet. Well, I mean, for July. Oh, okay. Yeah, he got me on a technical. Technically not yet, but we're only a few weeks away. But either way, we might do something. We'll see. I'm just glad for that. But anyway, yeah, check out any shows we have. Follow us on social media. We'll make sure we post updates there. But you can check out your favorite episodes live, download them, take them with you on the go, whatever floats your boat and is your pleasure. We're here for you guys to entertain and to give you some great information. So, with that being the case, take a break. Go use the bathroom if you need to. Get a drink. Do whatever you need to do. We're going to pause here, play a commercial break for you guys, little songs for you. We'll be back with more of the What's Up Bro podcast show for your Friday night entertainment. So glad you guys are here live if you're listening to us there. But we love and appreciate you all, even if you're listening to this recorded elsewhere. Either way, you all mean so much to us. We can't thank you enough for your support. So stay tuned for more. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey audio fans, are you looking for fun and excitement? Have you been searching for that special show? You know, the one complete package you want in a podcast? Then check out the What's Up Bro podcast show and experience what true entertainment is all about. Stay tuned and don't miss the action. Available on your favorite streaming services, including YouTube. Thank you for all your support. And as always, we'll see you at the show.
We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
Hey there, do you love podcasts? Are you having difficulty finding the right ones to listen to? Is it frustrating when you're trying to pick that show? You know, the one where everyone must collectively agree on? Like finding a good movie or TV show to watch, do you look for the most jam-packed entertainment that's possible to find in a single episode every week? Then search no more, and welcome to J&J Production Studios. It's our business to provide the best entertainment and information available for you. Whether you're sitting in that comfy chair with your favorite snack and beverage listening live each week, or downloading your favorite show episodes to take with you on the go while you're at work, exercising, or even just to play at night for you to fall asleep to. There's something for everyone, no matter what size, shape, or age you are. Visit www.linktree.com/J_J Production Studios to find all the streaming services where our podcast shows can be found. You can also connect with us on your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook and Twitter. You can join our public Discord server and chat directly with us. But wait, there's more. You can subscribe to our official YouTube channel and be notified every time a new show is broadcast. Wish you could have some studio souvenirs or collectibles? Guess what? You can. Visit the official store where you can purchase items featuring your favorite podcast and show hosts. Would you like to help support us? You can do that by getting your very own exclusive membership on our Patreon account. All proceeds go to help us upgrade our shows, which will only enhance the entertainment provided to you. Thank you so much. We're excited to have you as an audience. Your love and support are always appreciated. We'll see you soon.
break time is over. We're so glad you stayed tuned. Now back to the action as the show is set to resume.
Welcome back. My apologies. I just realized it actually almost through the break that we left the fire going, so we did turn it off. I'm going to put it back on here. There we go. Not that it doesn't take away from anything, because I think it's a nice ambiance of sound there, but still, it's a little bit distorted when you're trying to listen to the music that plays during the break there as well as commercial. But either way, the flames are still stoked. We're back here. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the What's Up Bro podcast show. It's Sam Crow and Big Hoss. It's Friday night. We're sitting here by the virtual fire, sharing with you our camping adventure that we're looking forward to, that we're going to try to put together there. So before we went to the break, we mentioned about talking about possible options that we can do while we're there. Obviously, sightseeing is one. Maybe a little fishing. Do you like to fish?
Yeah, but you have to have a license.
Oh, well, there's that. I wonder if, well, I'm not sure if, I have to look into that park service for that. Okay, well, there's always other opportunities for different things. We can go hiking there if you feel to go hiking up the mountain there. Too far? Yeah. So I wonder if they have. Well, we have to look and see there. Well, we could take a walk in the woods, maybe see some bears. This is an actual case where.
You have to turn around and run away and leave me behind.
Well, here's the thing. Like in this instance, I know there's a good chance we could see bears there because we're up in, they're in the mountains up that way. So there's always that strong risk. And not that I'd be panicked necessarily, unless the bears are really close. Then maybe that's something I would run in terror. And I wouldn't say I would leave you behind. I might just run faster than you. That's all. So there's a bit of a bit of a difference. I'm not going to purposefully leave you behind, but I might just take off like a bat out of hell just to get out of there. So.
Yeah. That's not funny.
Be like, only if the slow don't survive, so best of luck to you. But no, I mean, there's different things. I mean, even just being outside will be nice, but I'm sure there's different things that we can find that we can do. I would say I don't know if we'd have the. I'm trying to think. I could bring horseshoes. Horseshoes are always fun. If you're much of an outdoor type of toss game kind of person, that's always a fun thing to do. I wonder if they would have, I don't know, depending on the grounds there, if they'd have swimming up there. You can go swimming too.
The lake has swimming.
I don't know if there's a spot. I mean, but yeah, that's what. Even just sitting out by the lake is not bad. I mean, again, peace and quiet, assuming there's not a lot of people at that time. But there's different things we can. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things to think about there, and apparently I'm getting a spot here on my face that hurts. But yeah, I mean, just, like I said, even now, like whenever you sit outside, if you sit around a campfire on a normal basis, which I don't, but just, something about, it's like we talked about cooking, and we cook outside, and, the food always tastes better. Whenever you sit by a fire, the roaring fire, I mean, yes, you do get the campfire smell, and for some people, it can be a bit of a nuisance because they don't want to smell like that for a day or two, but it can be really tranquil if you enjoy that even not on a regular basis, but if you're somebody who does that at least once or twice a year. And obviously summertime fires there can be enjoyable, not necessarily for warmth because it's warm out, but then again you have the fall time when a lot of people do stoke fires for that, and it is rather enjoyable for many reasons. Number one, you can do s'mores and other kind of fun stuff, making hot dogs out there, which doesn't seem to be super popular in the fall, but hey, why not? I just would always say take a hot dog and throw all the fixings on it and just do it right there. But just sitting there and in the warmth and the glow of the fire and smelling that fresh smell, not like we smelled from the fires from Canada we had this past week. That's a little bit of a different type of atmosphere of not being able to breathe that you don't want to experience. But the actual smaller good fires that you can, even if you have a home that has a fireplace, you can do that. It doesn't give you quite the same effect of being outside with the fire. But I've known some people that run the fireplace at home, and that suffices for them. So that's always an option. But we can just chill out by the campfire. Naturally, a lot of people do, which I won't be doing, is chugging any kind of alcohol whatsoever, because I will probably end up at the bottom of the lake. So, yeah, or who knows? I mean, unless you tie me to a tree somewhere, I'll probably wander off and be lost in the woods, and then you'll have to come find me. So that's not an option. But there's snacks and stuff we can do. So all kinds of. The idea is just to kind of kick back there a little bit and being outside and relaxing and enjoying it. Hopefully, the only other drawback, which is a camper's nightmare, can be, depending on how bad it does happen, is if it rains. Now, light rain isn't bad, because remember, again, we're going to be on the ground, so the ground's going to become saturated by laying there. So if it gets super soggy, we might have a problem, even in the sleeping bags. So hopefully that won't be an issue. Hopefully, and fingers crossed, the weather is not going to be terrible. I mean, there's ways to prepare for that and be ready for it. Definitely have to have a poncho or some kind of rain gear. That's part of probably that itinerary list that we would need there for sure. Just because the outdoors are very unpredictable. That goes without saying too a lot of times. But if it's not extreme heat or extreme cold, or it could be heavy snow, could be heavy rain, and I don't know. Now again, I've never been that far out west, and I know out Midwest out there too. I would venture to guess that anything could go on an average basis, so just like anywhere else. So that's one thing to consider, what we'll have to do. Definitely won't be having a campfire if it's pouring down rain. I'm just hoping we don't have soaking wet bottoms from sitting on the ground. So that's something that just dawned on me about that, which is a real concern in some aspects especially if it's a longer duration that we're planning to be out there, then that's something to really keep in consideration. So, and I will point this out because not that we weren't making fun of it, but we made a mention of how some people like to glamp, or they like to go a little bit more, not quite as rugged as far as going intense. There is a benefit of having a more stable shelter when you're sleeping in overnight, when it rains heavily. That is one positive there. But that being said, and that aside, one thing I look forward to, I've never actually tried either, is sleeping outside and not necessarily keeping the fire kind of going, but I don't know. I just think it's going to be something kind of peaceful about it, restful, and I don't know because I haven't tried it. But there's all kinds of things that we can look forward to. The main goal is that we survive and make it back after that period of time.
Right.
So that's, and we don't get eaten by bears or mountain lions or any other kind of wildlife that danger comes in our path and doesn't want the food we have, just wants us as the main course. So there is that. So now, you've been camping before though, right? You've been camping. You do mostly when you're probably growing up though, right? You haven't done much lately. What are some camping experiences you've enjoyed? Like, what are some memories you have going camping that you really makes you want to look forward to camping again?
So, one time we went camping.
Okay.
I may or may not have indulged in some adult things.
That usually means yes. And then?
Well, I went to go to bed.
Uh-huh.
I jumped in the fucking tent and almost fall down the hill. In the tent.
Well,
I fell out of the bed and into the fucking side of the tent and almost fell down the hill.
Wow. See, now, accidents, and it would be an accident because obviously you're not intending to roll down the hill, but those are one of those. That's something that I know that, and I haven't seen anybody that does this, but a lot of people, they like to climb mountains, right? They go mountain climbing. They scale the side of the mountain and then they go up. I've seen a lot of times in different films and shows where people, I don't know how they do this. I don't know why in the world you'd want to do this, but you ever see the shows where people are climbing on mountains for days? They actually have their tent pitched on the side of a mountain. So basically like you're suspended in midair sleeping there. Like how and why would you want to do that? I mean, I get the view's probably spectacular, obviously, but Well, I am too, and I prefer to have something solid under me. I mean, I'm not super heavy, but still, like, I just don't know if I could handle that factor. But it's interesting from a outside perspective. But I would not want to be the one sleeping in a tent held by a few little stakes in the mountain, because again, you roll over one way and you're plunging right off the 30-foot drop. But that's always fun. But yeah, I mean, again, I think the only time, and I really wasn't camping per se. I mean, we slept in cabins, but it was just the hang on, my computer's sleeping on me here. There we go. It was the experience of being outside, and I remember like going to bed at night and just like smelling your clothes, and you could smell the campfire, and it really just it gave you like, I don't know, that wilderness kind of feel. Now, after a couple days that I had a feel I couldn't do that all the time, but it was still fun on the occasion, especially when the weather was nice. So I don't think I've ever really had the experience where I roughed it though in a tent outside anyway, unless you count the backyard. That's another thing. I think the closest experience I have to camping outside is I pitched a tent in the backyard of in my house, which I know people, again, doesn't really count because what could happen in the backyard? Well, again, it's outside, and there is rain occasionally. I don't think it rained in this instance, but the ground was very hard, even in the sleeping bag. However, to be fair, I have a better sleeping bag now than I did way back when. I might even, I don't know if the one I got has that. It was a basic, like, very thin one. I want to get, like, the, I don't know what you call them, but the true camper sleeping bag. You know, like the very thick, what do you call the what? The money sleeping bag? The mummy sleeping, yeah, the one that has, like, the flannel inside. I mean, it's waterproof on the outside, but it's like super flannel warm on the inside, and it's nicer because it's thicker, so it kind of gives you that little bit of cushion there. Unless we bring it, I mean, I could bring a blow-up mattress or air mattress, but that's, I mean, I don't know. Are you planning to sleep straight on the ground, or are you looking at mattressing it?
I'm thinking about getting the blow-up mattress.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get a big one, we can share, but
No.
I think the biggest thing that's going to scare Hoss at night.
I'm not even sharing a tent. You're bringing your own fucking tent.
I am
not waking up in the middle of the fucking night to you cuddling me.
I can tell you honestly, in some cases, especially if it gets cold at night, there would be some spooning.
Yeah, no, you're sleeping in your own tent.
Yeah, I don't. I like to cuddle, especially if it's cold outside. So, I would definitely be the little spoon curled up in every crevice there, kind of thing. So, yeah. Yeah, so that makes sense. I was waiting to see if you're going to catch that one there, but yeah, so that's not a bad thing. I mean, again, might not be bad terrain as far as
I just chose to ignore it.
Yeah, I was gonna say he might be just ignoring me because of that reason too. But you know, we can work on that. We'll get some plans there. I'm gonna start writing a list down of some ideas for things, and you know, it's the whole purpose is just to have fun with it because we don't have to go crazy, obviously. And you know, obviously, you know, the figuring out expenses for that. There's some things, you know, you pick and choose, and you know what you can sack a little bit here and there. You do, and you invest in some things or invest in the others. So that's all part of the process. But the whole goal is, and our hope is that you guys listening to this will be encouraged of. You don't have to go camping necessarily, but do something fun and get out. Whether you go to the beach for the week, or you go camping in the woods, or you go to the desert. Go out. Go leave the country. Go to Africa for a week. Go to Europe. I don't know. Pick a place you want to go. Just do something fun for yourself. Because again, we said this many times, and I believe it's true more than ever, is we don't take enough time to really do things for ourselves. Like I said, Hoss and I want to go do this because we want to get away, and like I know for me more so probably than him, just because everything's crazy for me. Like I'm doing so many different things. It's just nice to get away. But the idea is to find something that you enjoy that's really relaxing, and that's just to get your mind off of it. And I can tell you, like, hopefully the service isn't good because I don't want to have to use phones if I don't have to, unless I need to. But like, I try very hard not to look at my phone, deal with stuff. And my rule of thumb is going to be, people knowing I'm leaving, is I'm out for a week. No calls, no nothing. I might check my email once in a while, but not that I mean, most email I get is junk anyway, but bottom line is I'm literally going off the grid. That's the full basis of it. So, excuse me, that's the kind of quiet time we need, and that's just that peace and breaking away from the average everyday craziness that we have to go through. And I know a lot of you guys, I'm positive, are salivating at the opportunity for you to get away, because life's a rat race. We're running it every day. And as you get older, and I know Hoss is probably learning this too, as you get older, things kind of pick up. It's not like when you're a kid. You know, I remember growing up, you felt like you had all the time in the world because you basically did. But nowadays, as an adult, it's just not as easy as it once was way back when. So, you know, when you get these moments, if you can get away, and we just want to kick back and chill. I mean, again, even if we do absolutely nothing for that week, fine by me, because it's just peace and quiet and just great outdoors, and, you know, no craziness, no problems here, problems there. It's just total relaxation and quiet time. So that's really what we're looking forward to while we're planning that. So, and we're hoping, and if there's areas we can, you know, have the laptop plug it in, we can hopefully maybe do a couple of live shows there if we want to during the week. Don't know what the service will be like, but we can see. Even if we record, we might be able to record some episodes and just upload them later on for you guys. But just to kind of give you some experience, kind of like a video diary kind of thing, or audio diary, and we can share some of the experiences for the week we can upload later on. But, you know, the whole goal again is just for us to relax there. We're looking forward to it, and we're going to do some planning, but hopefully this inspires you guys. But yes, make sure you have a plan, and if you have other family or friends going with you, talk it out together, work at it together, make sure everybody's on the same page, and get it down to the most minute detail. Don't leave anything out, and if you think you got it figured out, you probably don't, so check it again. That's our biggest advice for you guys. So make sure you do that. We hope you guys enjoy it, though. Wherever you do or go, even if it's a staycation, time for you to get away, turn off your electronics, stay home, and just don't answer the phone. Very simple, as long as nobody sends the police, and make sure you let people know so they don't worry about you. But whatever floats your boat, go for it, enjoy it. That's what summertime's all about. That's why we're doing Summer Slam Fest. Lots more great stuff to come. And just a reminder before we close for the night too is we are going to work on. We've not heard back from her. I know she's been dealing with some injuries. We will have Miranda Maverick joining us hopefully soon. We'll keep in touch there. So looking forward to talking to her. Unfortunately, she did suffer her defeat or her fight this past weekend. But we will talk to her and get some more in-depth analysis there. She can talk about her experience, what training's like, obviously, for a big fight compared to normal training. We're going to get into all that great stuff, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We'll keep you guys updates. If you're not following us on social media, you need to do so. That's where you will find all the latest details. Make sure you check it out. And, of course, check out all the podcast streaming services where you get your favorite podcasts. Our shows are there. Episodes are available for download. You can check them out any point in time you want. We are here for you. Kicking off the weekend. It's Friday night. Tomorrow night we'll be back. If we have everybody else here, we may do an episode of the Game Corner. We might play some games. We'll see who's around tomorrow. I'm not sure. Otherwise, Hoss and I will hit the campfire again. We're going to sit back and chill some more and chat, and we refer to it as our Shoot the Shit weekend. So hope you guys will look forward to that. And again, it's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you guys and chat. And, you know, we love and appreciate you all more than we can ever say, and be so grateful for each one of you. Let me put the fire out here. Let's kick some logs here. There we go. Fire's out for the night. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Look forward to Saturday. The weekend is still in full force. Do something fun. Kick back, relax, and overall just have a great time. So as we wrap up things here, we're going to throw out the big Hoss first because you have a chance. No one will interrupt you tonight, so you can say your goodbyes and give our audience members most important message.
Don't drink and drive. Don't drink, don't drive.
Yep. Party hardy weekend. It is Friday and Saturday. And when will you see the guys again, Big Hoss? Tomorrow night. Yep. I will be here as well. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Take care. We love you all so much. Stay happy and stay healthy and stay safe. And come back tomorrow. We'll be here live. We're going to have a great time. Whether it's the Game Corner or not, always something fun going to happen. We never know sometimes. We're just as surprised as you in some cases. So come check it out. Join us. We look forward to seeing you guys then. Have a great night, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, I'm out of here.
Sounds good, Big Hoss. We'll see you tomorrow night, my friend. Take care.
All right.
See you guys later. Thank you all so much. until Saturday night, folks, and of course, as always, goodbye for now. We'll see you next time at the show.
Thank you for listening to the What's Up Bro show. Catch all the latest live action on your favorite podcast streaming services, including Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can also check out episodes on the studio's official YouTube channel. Subscribe and become a member today. Don't forget to also turn on notifications so you'll know when new content is uploaded. Stay tuned and don't miss a single moment. We love and appreciate all your support. And as always, we will see you at the show.